Alexander Hammerstone, aka your boy Hammer. Hammerstone wrestled in a few organizations but would immediately rise in MLW as one-third of the Dynasty, a group that would feature himself, Richard Holliday, and a young up-and-coming wrestler named Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Hammerstone would immediately rise to the center of the group, overshadowing them at most matches, taking out wrestlers like Davey Boy Smith in the Hart Foundation feud, even flirting with his sister. It was clear Hammerstone was rising too fast and too far for MJF's liking, constantly getting overshadowed on the microphone. MJF and Hammerstone would end up meeting in the 2019 Opera Cup, where even though he would try to get the low blow in the pin, Hammerstone would kick out. And despite at this time, I believe MJF had came back from AEW at the start, he would tease a crossroads before having it countered. Hammerstone would boot him in the face before delivering a sit-out powerbomb. Hammerstone would even increase his physique, and if that was even possible, he would end up having matches with Mil Muertes. He would go on to face Octagon Jr. in Mexico during the Luchas tour. He would end up winning Battle Riot III, sending Mads Kruger over the top rope to have a shot at the MLW World Heavyweight Title against one of his most famous rivals, Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf. He would defeat Fatu in the title versus title match to become a double champion, the Openweight National Champion and the MLW World Heavyweight Champion. He would end up leaving MLW to have a short stint in TNA, going on to have a very notable feud with Josh Alexander, the Walkie Weapon, hitting the Nightmare Pendulum, getting hit with a suplex, where Josh Alexander would end up hitting a C4 spike to take the first win in their trilogy. After the first match at Hard to Kill, they would meet at Sacrifice. In this one, Hammer would take the victory by knocking out the referee and going on to counter the C4 spike, hitting a low blow kick, and then delivering the Nightmare Pendulum to take the win. The final match of the trilogy would feature a dragon suplex on the steel ramp, followed by a C4 spike in the last man standing match, where Josh Alexander would not only win, he would retrieve his famous headgear. He would go on to make appearances in NXT, but despite injuries, it would not be a long time before he was released from TNA. And despite a short stint, I'd say he had a pretty good time. Look, Dreamer's having a pretty good time. Look at how much fun he's having. He would end up making an appearance at the Benefit for Bay, the FSW promotion, who was holding a benefit for the injured wrestler Chris Bay. Hammerstone faced off against WWE's Karrion Kross. For the night, I think he went by Killer Kross, but he would be countered out of the pin with a submission, end up being tapped out. But most recently, he would make his return to MLW, entering Battle Riot 7, where he would enter at the number 1 position and lasting all the way almost an hour in the match. But he would be eliminated with a boot by the MLW World Champion Matt Riddle. And I think with all that being said, it goes without saying, in 2025, someone better sign Hammer.